What's up, everybody? It's Trey Smith, co-owner of Recaptured Values, alongside my talented wife,
Rylee Smith.
And hey, guys, we've been working for you guys. I've been kind of behind the scenes, which is why you haven't been seeing me. But trust me, I've been working for you guys.
We're the magic.
I'm the magic man. I've been doing all the social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. You know what I mean? I've been working for you guys. But yes, a lot of big things are coming, and we are happy that you are watching these videos. We hope these videos help you guys. And
we're going to be putting out new videos every Tuesday, and we're going to call it Teach It Tuesday. So be prepared to learn. So whether you're a mama, a grandma, and any sort of family member making stuff for your little nieces and nephews, whatever, shop owners, we welcome you to watch our videos and learn. We're just going to be going through our favorite patterns and showing you how we use them in our own shop, and we hope you can benefit from them.
Well, enough of the introduction. We hope you enjoy this video. See y'all on the other side.
Hey everybody, it's Rylee Smith from Recaptured Values, and today is Teach It Tuesday. You can grab this shirt in our shop on recapturedvalues.com if you would like to wear your shirt. Just, support Recaptured Values and what we're doing, because we're putting out a new video every Tuesday. If you haven't been around, that's what we're doing. Make sure you subscribe now if you haven't, because we put out a new video every Tuesday, and our videos are pretty great, pretty informative. We share what we like, what we use in our shop. We share just a whole bunch of really good patterns that you may not be familiar with, and it's a great way to just find something new to do. If you love sewing, or if you want to sew to sell, we'll show you some really cool patterns that you may not be familiar with. So make sure you subscribe and watch the videos all the way through, because we try our best, or I try my best, to explain everything in as much detail as I know how to. Also, I do very often do things a little bit differently than the pattern instructions actually call for. So it's extremely important that you listen throughout the whole entire video to understand maybe why I'm doing something a little bit differently. I try to explain that as best as possible. Sometimes it's just preference that I do things a little differently, but so moving on, just make sure you pay attention to that, because a lot of the questions that get asked are answered within the video, and so it's just a little monotonous to keep answering back and forth. We'll do it. We're gonna do it anyway. So, but save us a little bit of trouble. Watch the video all the way through. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you like it. So this week we're gonna be doing another freebie, so that's pretty cool. And this one is actually one that I think a lot of people don't know about, even people who are hardcore patterns for pirates fans, I guess you could say. I don't think a lot of people know about this pattern, but this pattern is called the convertible cover. It's car seat cover, pretty much. If you have recently been a mom, or gifted a mom of anything, or even a dad, a little stretchy car seat cover that goes over the car seat. That it's just a knit fabric that just goes all the way around the car seat. It's pretty cute, and you can also double it as a breastfeeding cover, which is pretty cool. Kind of like a scarf, and then you just pull it over and breastfeed if you want that. But it's super cute. It's free. This is what it looks like when you print it out. I think it was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages total, it looks like. And there it is. You print it, and you will overlap your lines. It explains to you how to do that in the pattern. So just make sure you read the pattern on how to put the pattern together. And again, this one is free, so it's a great one to try out if you're wanting to start sewing. Okay, and it makes a great gift too for new mamas. So the best type of fabric to use for this is going to be breathable fabrics, because it is going around a car seat, and this is not for the purpose of a car. Like, you don't put the car seat cover on your child in the car. That's not the purpose of this. So make sure you're using this with caution. If you're using this for your own benefit, selling, you need to make sure that you are doing this compliantly, or being compliant if you are selling this in your shop. Forewarning, I don't think we've ever talked about that before, but it is necessary to be compliant with the CPSC certifications and compliant with small businesses. So if you're doing this to sell, any of this really, anything that you've seen in our videos needs to be compliant. So I will link a group down below to help you, you know, navigate through that. So this one, like I said, the pattern is going to call for fabrics that are breathable. Our favorite to use is called rayon spandex, and it is a very lightweight, I've already cut my pattern pieces out, but it's very lightweight, super drapey. I mean, you can almost, I can see the camera through it. It's super breathable, super flowy, very lightweight. Like I said, I can see the lights through the camera. But this one right here in particular is from Sincerely Rylee's Fabrics. Sincerely Rylee Fabric. Love, love, love them. Darcy is a great person. I love her company. I have shopped there for a while and I keep going back. She puts out some great stuff, and I definitely love their rayon spandex. And it's not too expensive either, so that's great. You can grab a whole bunch. But this one was from them. I don't think they have any more, but they do have a great selection, so we'll link them down below. And of course, Knit Pop has a great selection of rayon spandex too. But this one, and I tend to get a lot of rayon spandex from Sincerely Rylee, so we'll link them down below. All right, so finally we get started. So pretty much this pattern here, this is a pattern piece. It is on a fold, so you're gonna cut 2 pieces like this on a fold. So I've already done that. And I just like to fold this pattern piece up to like this because it's a lot easier to deal with because it's a really big pattern piece. And then, so moving on, like I said, rayon spandex is one of our favorites. You can use something called modal spandex, bamboo spandex, cotton spandex, anything like that. Double brush poly is not going to be a good one for this because it's not breathable. It has that polyester, which is synthetic. It's not as breathable. So I would definitely steer clear of any kind of polyester things for this. So this is rayon spandex. And this is the bottom here, of course, is going to be the bigger part. And this is the top part here. So now I've got it facing right side up. So I've already cut my pieces, and you're going to want the stretch to go this way. I think the pattern piece tells you at least the stretch of the grain line, so you just make sure you're cutting, you know, selvage to selvage, and that you're cutting across the stretch so that the stretch is going around. This is not a garment, it's a garment for car seats. Okay, but so you put them right sides together, and like I said, this one's gonna be really simple once you just get it placed together like this. It will, you can use a sewing machine absolutely to do this whole thing if you wanted to. If you have a serger, you can do just the serger as well. But I mean, I think it looks the best with both. Or if you have a cover stitch, that works as well too. A cover stitch instead of a sewing machine. But you will need to hem the top and the bottom. But to get around doing that, you can add a band if you wanted to. If all you have is a serger, you can add a band. You can calculate a band for the top and the bottom here. But they already do include the seam allowance, not the seam allowance, the hem allowance basically, up here at the top. And so basically I'm just matching up my raw edges right sides together all the way around. So now this is just one big sandwich here. Right here. Okay, so there's my piece. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit so you can see it. So this, I'm holding the bottom and this is the top, and as you can see, it kind of has this cool little thing here. And so what you're gonna do with this when you get it done, when you serge the edge here all the way down, or zigzag stitch if you have a sewing machine, you could zigzag stitch. You're gonna do it with the side seams all the way down. So then when you do that, this cool little thing here, you'll fold it down. It will fold down like this. That's really, it's like that. And that's gonna be your hem. Of course you do the other side too. And that'll be your hem. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the serger. I'll bring you guys with me so you guys see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm at my Brother 1034D serger, also known as an overlocker. I don't really change my settings there right now. I'm gonna go change it back just a little bit because I moved it. 3.5, 3.5, 4.5, 4.5 is what I'm gonna use. And then as you can see my side settings here, I don't change them for any fabrics really. I found that this works the best for my fabrics. So you'll have to excuse my light. I don't know if you've watched the videos. I don't really have a light in this. They keep blowing, so I just got tired of changing it. I need to get an LED light for that. but it is what it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a 1/4 seam allowance or a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down here. Make sure all my edges are lined up. You can use pins if you want to. I don't, for this at least. Okay, so we're just gonna serge. Well, if my edges would stay. All right. This weird part up here, you're just going to pull it straight. Alright, and then you're going to take your little snippers. If you don't have snippers, these are amazing. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. I think you can buy them at Waywalk too. That's where we get our serger thread. Just make sure that my tension's a little weird here. So basically, I just make sure that I don't cut my tails too short, so that if my tension is off a little bit, I can do this with my thread here to make sure that it's not going to pull too much. So as you can see, that was a little too tight. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to change this to 3. I'm going to change my yellow and red knobs to 3 instead of 3.5, and see what that does, because they were a little too tight on that side, but I pulled them. So let's see what this side does. Exact same thing on the other side. Let's see here. Yeah, that's much better. The turning it down to 3 for this fabric was a lot better. Really, you just have to play with your machines enough to know what you like, and to know what works for each specific fabric. And so for this one, your seam allowances aren't going to be that big of a deal, so they don't have to be perfect, because this is not trying to fit a body, it's fitting an object. So it's not as extremely important that your seam allowance and everything is like perfect. And so this one, yeah, was a much better tension. Okay. Cut my tail here. All right. So then we pretty much, let me go ahead and, oh, that, I already cut it. Okay. So this is inside out now, of course. We have it sewn up on this side and this side. And so now we have this circle right here. This part. This is the circle, right? So here's in here. So what I like to do is, if you have a sewing machine and a serger, and you just did this on the serger, I like to go ahead, turn my knobs to 0, and then serge all around the edge here. That's just what I like to do. It gives me a clean finish when I go over to my sewing machine to hem this up. If you have a cover stitch, you will not have to do this, obviously, because the cover stitch will serge the edge and top stitch it for you when you hem it, so you don't have to worry about that. But for me, I like to make it appear as though I have done something really extravagant. So I'm going to serge around the edge. This is absolutely just a cosmetic step. If you want to go straight to your sewing machine and just, fold it under a couple times and then top stitch, that's fine. Hem it to top stitch to hem it. And you can absolutely stop at this step too if you're okay with the raw edge or this serge edge. It's not my favorite look, but it's definitely not terrible. have my handy dandy nitpicker here, and I will link that down below as well. I just like this little thing because it tucks my tails. This tail's not as pretty, but it will tuck it in there. It should tuck it in there. We'll see. All right, tucked it enough. Enough, because we're just about to top stitch this down with the sewing machine. And again, like I said, you can leave it if you just like the serged edge like that. You can leave it if you don't want to, if you despise hemming like I do, but I'm going to show you for the purpose of this video, I'm going to hem it. But if you don't have a sewing machine, and you could just leave it raw edge serge like this if all you have is a serger, or you can create a band with your fabric or an accent fabric if you wanted to, and just measure the opening and multiply it by 0.85, and then that's what you're going to get. There's probably some other math in there that I didn't quite do correctly, but your bands are going to be typically 80 to 85% smaller than your opening. So you would just make a band 80 to 85% smaller than this opening and add it like almost like a huge cuff, pretty much. If you wanted to finish that differently and all you have is a serger. Same thing with the top up here. But what I would have done with the top, if all you have is a serger, is I would have gone ahead and cut off the part that they had at the top, so that you would add something to it at the top, because they had this little piece already for the top for hemming, so you just like cut that part off. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and serge the top around here, because we're gonna hem that too. Almost done. I didn't get that tail done all the way. And like I said, you could stop here if you wanted to, especially if you're gifting. But if you're a perfectionist and you want to continue to finish your garment, I'm gonna go over to the sewing machine and hem this thing up. So, all right, so we're at my sewing machine, and I use the Singer Stylist 7528. Let me look. 7258. 7258 is my sewing machine. So okay, I am going to use a zigzag stitch, just a typical zigzag stitch. Mine has automatic tension, which is the reason why I bought the machine, because I hate fooling with that. Occasionally you'll have to mess with it a little bit for like some really weird fabrics, but for the most part I leave it on auto, which is great. I need to clean my machine. Do not judge me. But I just do a typical zigzag stitch for this particular machine. It is number 3 setting, or the stitch number 3. And so I'm going to use a 5 width and a 2 length. I rarely change the length. Sometimes I'll change the width a little bit. But for this, this is going to be just fine. I like to start on the side seam, just preference. You can do whatever you want to do. It just, you know, helps me to know where I'm going to go to, like a stopping point almost. So I'm going to follow this up, and you can absolutely press it and hem it, or press and hem. So that would mean like you press it up so that it's easier to see where you need to hem. I eyeball it. That's just what I do. So I just make sure that I'm, you know, doing the same amount all the way around. It's just easier and faster. But again, if you're a perfectionist, you can absolutely measure it, press it up, and then come over here and hem it. It's just an extra step if that's what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So you just keep folding it up and going around the edge. process, but it's super cute at the end. And so then I like to just go back over where I started, back stitch a little bit, forward, back stitch again, and just like make sure I finish that part there. So that's what it looks like when you're done. And then you can just give it a good press. And that's pretty much that. And so we're gonna do the same thing to the top part here. Flip it all the way back over. And do the exact same thing for the top here. This one's a little bit quicker because it's smaller. Again, I just go right back over where I started, back stitch, and then we will snip the tails, but for the most part, it is done. That is the top. There's the bottom, and I'll show you guys what this looks like in just a second. This is what it ends up looking like here. This is the top, and of course, it's not showing the curve. But there is a curve here. Try to pull it out. There's a curve piece. And of course a curve there. There, you can see it better. That's what it ends up looking like. And so this part would go on the top of the car seat, and this part would go around the car seat. But to use it as a breastfeeding thing, you would put it on like this. And then you could, you know, wrap around like this if you wanted to. Put your baby in it like this, of course, like this, however you need to breastfeed. It's really cool like that, and then it could double as a scarf. You could just wear it as a scarf if you wanted to. It's super cute like that. Just whatever you wanted to do. It's pretty cute, and it's free, so it's always great. But yeah. This is super cool, super versatile. Again, it's extremely important though, if you are selling, even really if you are gifting this, it's important to be compliant. You can do what you want with your own children, of course, but when you're involving someone else's kids, it's extremely important to make sure that you're making safe products for you know, the most benefit, that like just to be safe, to be honest. And it will feel like when you first learn about compliance, it absolutely, it's funny, this is my diffuser. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. I promise it's not like I'm not smoking. But yeah, I promise that compliance seems like a lot when you first start it, but it is really important, and it will give you and your customers peace of mind. And even your gift recipients peace of mind, knowing that you took the time to make sure that you were making stuff that's safe for, you know, the consumer. So this again is Patterns for Pirates. Their convertible cover. What is it called? Yeah, convertible cover. It's mainly called that because it's used for a multitude of things, like I just showed you. You can use it for breastfeeding, car seats. Again, do not put your child in this in the car. Don't do it. I don't even care if your air conditioner's on. Just don't. It's not safe, especially in heat. It's just not safe. But like I said, going to and from your house, putting your child into the car to protect from, I don't know, maybe somebody's mowing their grass and you want to keep grass from flying on your child. This is a great thing to do for that. Again, if you're in a grocery store and you want to keep random people from looking or staring or trying to reach for your baby, you know, this is a good thing for that too. So just throwing that out there. Or maybe you're taking your kid to a doctor's office. Again, this is very thin fabric, so it's not gonna, like, this would not be good mask material. You don't need to put this on your face because you're gonna be able to breathe through it. That's kind of the purpose of this fabric. It's breathable. So make sure that you're compliant if you're doing this to sell, or if you're gifting these things. Make sure you do that. I haven't ever came out at Recaptured Values as a whole, myself, my husband, we've never really come out and said that, and so we're doing that right now. make sure that you're compliant. We'll link a group down below. It's really important. We can't like force you to do that, and we can't really talk you through it because every product is a little bit different. So the group is great. There's a great group of people. Make sure that you look at the information that this group provides for you. So don't go in there asking 20 questions right off the bat. Make sure you do due diligence to research compliance in their group, because they give a lot of resources, free resources, a course. I think there's a free course in there, a whole bunch of really good free information that's already provided, and it's even in a like chronological format for you to be really simple as possible, really, because it's not that simple, but they try to make it easy. So, you know, do your due diligence to figure that stuff out before you start asking 20 questions. Just a word of advice, because, you know, these people have done it for a long time and they get tired of answering the same questions over and over again. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Mine is all my talking. I mean, I hope you like that too, but I mean, if you didn't, you know, you came here for the pattern. But so we'll link the pattern down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we put out a new video every Tuesday, and we call it Teach It Tuesday, as the shirt says. It's backwards for you, but you know, oh well, you can read it. So check that out on our website. We'll link that down below as well, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.